Hey guys, what's going on? ThePrideOfLDN here. You guys know what to do. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's move into today's video. So I will be previewing the Bayern versus Chelsea game that is happening at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around for that one. But let's start off with latest Chelsea transfer rumours. Goalkeeper shortlist revealed. Blues face £25 million Arsenal battle. And the main bit there obviously is our goalkeeper shortlist. So it's pretty much a given that we're going to be replacing Kepa Arrizabalaga. And we have whittled down our shortlist. And it says, according to the transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, very reliable, the Blues have whittled down their shortlist to Andre Onana and Nick Pope. Dean Henderson has been heavily linked with the move from Manchester United too, but it doesn't look like that one's really going to happen. I think he's probably going to stick at Manchester United. If not, then I would happily take him at Chelsea, but I think that's probably what's going to happen. I think he'll probably be ahead of David De Gea next season. Maybe David De Gea leaves, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I don't think Dean Henderson will leave. I think he's probably using the whole Chelsea interest to try and push them into, forcing their hand to say, like, look, you've got me, I've got a lot of promise to me, I'm a solid keeper already. Make me number one at Man United or I'm going to Chelsea. And it's going to force their hand, and they're going to have to get rid of David De Gea, it seems, which is probably a good thing for them because he has not been performing very well over the past couple of years now. So yeah, let's get back to Chelsea though. Andre Onana and Nick Pope. So both of them are upgrades if you ask me. Nick Pope has the advantage of being in the Premier League. He's played Burnley, so of course he's more used to the Premier League. He knows the strikers in the league. He knows how the league is. He knows how physical it is. He knows if he can come and collect corners against certain teams. Like he studied the league. He knows these sort of things. He knows the penalty takers in each team, and there's just little things like that are going to give him a slight edge. And of course he's in good form anyway. He's had a good season. And I think he's only tipped to get better over the next few years as well. So he'll be a solid keeper. And then you've got Andre Onana from Ajax, who again is a solid keeper, but is not familiar with the league would be the difference. I don't think he's that tall. I think he's not far off as tall as Kepa is, whereas Nick Pope, much taller, I'm pretty sure. So you got the advantage of, how we've always complained at Chelsea with Kepa. He doesn't come out of his box and collect corners. We saw in one of our previous games, all of our defenders screaming his name to come collect. I think it was against Liverpool because Van Dijk then had a shot and thankfully skied it. But we do need someone that's capable of coming out and collecting corners, and Nick Pope probably fits that mould a little bit more. He'll be more expensive than Andre Onana, I'm pretty sure, which is crazy considering Onana's at Ajax and Pope is at Burnley. So it's a weird one, but Pope, to get him away from Burnley, I think is going to be very difficult. Andre Onana, we know his fees being, talked about quite a bit. I think it's around 20 to 30 million euros, somewhere in between there. So it'd be a fairly cheap acquisition compared to what we paid for Kepa. And he's an improvement. He's a great shot stopper, good reflexes. So I'd be happy with either one. I think part of me might slightly be leaning towards Nick Pope, but that's just my opinion. It's just because I think he'll be better coming out to collect corners and stuff like that. And that is a big bonus because of how bad our defence is at conceding from corners. So if we don't even allow someone to get a header on, then it could work out in our favour. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this one. Andre Onana or Nick Pope, which one do you prefer? So this next one then is one I think a lot of people are going to be annoyed at. Not Havertz, Lampard in love with key summer transfer target claims journalist. And as you can see in this picture here, it is Ben Chilwell. And it said that he's very keen to bring him to Chelsea, and it leaves more towards the line of, is it going to be Ben Chilwell that we end up getting as our left back? Of course, he is one of the better left backs in the league, so it's not like he's a bad player by any means, but it's the price tag that everyone seems to have a problem with, and I agree absolutely. That £80 million price tag, as it says down here, is ridiculous. He's not worth anything near that, and all they're trying to do is what they did with Harry Maguire, who is, a decent defender, bump up his price because another club wants him, and they're like, we don't want to sell, but if you really want him that bad, then pay us a stupid amount, and Man United was stupid enough to do it. I hope that Chelsea aren't going to be, but we know that Frank's got a lot of admiration for Ben Chilwell, and this is just more links that it's going to be Ben Chilwell that we end up going for. But what is good news, also it says here that they're going to sell Emerson Palmieri, so it looks like we're going to be keeping Alonso more so than Ben Chilwell, which I guess is I guess it's a good thing. I think I'd prefer to keep Alonso in case we go to a 5 at the back system, and he offers a lot in that situation. But then it says, despite his admiration for the Fox's style, Lampard is remaining pragmatic. Given the large fee, the Blues manager has also prepared a backup of potential alternatives to Chilwell. And then, I mean, that's good news. It says Romano goes on to add that Chelsea will go for either Tagliafico or Reguilon if they miss out on Chilwell. So we're going to be pushing for the Chilwell move still. It's still going to be negotiations going on there. Hopefully no one else picks up either Tagliafico or Sergio in that time frame, because if they do, we are screwed, because that means that, you know, if then we decide, okay, if we can't go for them, let's go for Lucas Digne of Everton. They're going to know our situation. They're going to see that we're being linked with these two, and then say they get snapped up, and then Ben Chilwell, we're like, oh my god, we can't pay that fee. Then they're just going to force our hand and say, okay, well, Lucas Digne is actually going to be 65 million, so if you want to pay us that stupid amount of money, then feel free to do that. So we're at danger of being held, you know, at ransom by these players if Sergio or Nicolas Tagliafico go. Of course, there's like Robin Gosens, Alex Telles is still available. There's different options we do have, but if these players start getting snapped up now that the transfer window's open, we could be, you know, whittling down our options and being forced to spend big on a Chilwell or on a Lucas Digne or someone like that when we know Tagliafico is going to be cheap. We're pretty sure we can get Sergio from Real Madrid because they need to raise funds. So for those ones, it's iffy. I would much rather us go for Sergio or Tagliafico, but it looks like Frank and the board and all the scouting team are very eager to stick with going for Ben Chilwell, so we'll see how this one pans out. So of course we have a massive game against Bayern coming up. It's going to be it's a free shot, you know. At this point we're 3-0 down, we lost 3-0 at home, so now we're going away to Bayern Munich to try and either get a 3-0 result or ideally a 4-0 to just send us through against one of the top sides in Europe at the moment. You know, Lewandowski has had an amazing season, didn't manage to get a Ballon d'Or, which he might have had a chance at winning. That got taken away from him, so he's going to be taking his anger out on Chelsea. Everyone, that's what the whole social media world is saying when it comes to football. Of course, Bayern Munich as well, an insane team, so this is going to be a very difficult team, but this is what football's about. It's nights like this that sometimes the crazy stuff happens. So we're going to go through my starting lineup. Of course, we've got a lot of injuries, so we're going to start up front this time. I'm going to be putting Olivier Giroud up front. On the right hand side, I'm going to be going with Hudson-Odoi. Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to get the start here because Willian's out. I probably would have started him for this game. Pulisic is also out, so it's going to be Mason Mount for me on the left hand side. Of course, Mason Mount not a natural winger, but of course we haven't really got the option, so it's going to be Mason Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi. I'm going to be going with Kovacic as one of our CMs, and then Ruben Loftus-Cheek as the other one, because I think Ruben's drive forward is going to be essential. He's always a goal threat. We got the height with him. Hopefully he has a good game. Kovacic to progress the ball forward, and then the CDM role, I'm going to be bringing Kante in. Jorginho misses out on this one for me, but I think that makes sense. I think with the backline being a 4, we're going to need Kante in there to sort of, you know, mop up and sort of clear up any counter-attacks that start happening and progress the ball forward to Kovacic to move forward, and same for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. But I think Ruben probably getting a little further forward, trying to get a shot off on goal or whatever. So overall, that starting, you know, what's that, 6 players looks decent. Is it enough to get you past Bayern 3 or 4-0 though? I'm not too sure. But like I said, crazier things have happened. So Azpilicueta is out. So on the left side, I'm going to be going with Marcos Alonso, and on the right side, going with Reece James. I think Marcos Alonso, you know, at left back is always a risk, especially with the pace that Bayern have. You could see Emerson starting this game. I wouldn't be bothered either way, but I just think because of the goal threat that we need, we're going to need Marcos Alonso's shooting ability, his crossing ability, as well as his heading ability in the box. You know, he's a tall guy, so we're going to need all the advantages going forward that we can get. As for the centre-backs, I'm going to be going with Kurt Zuma and Antonio Rudiger as the 2 centre-backs there. I think Zuma, you know, he's going to have a good game. Rudiger's going to have to have another solid game. No brain farts in these sorts of games. Like if you have a brain fart moment, like we've seen Rudiger plenty capable of, then we are going to be punished. The goalkeeper situation is interesting. Do you go with Kepa as a last hurrah, you know, his one chance to do it. Personally, I do not. I'm going with Willy Caballero in goal. I think it's going to be a difficult game. There's no two ways about it. With, you know, a keeper that isn't, I guess, your starting keeper in Willy Caballero, with your captain Azpilicueta out, having to play Alonso in a back four, not ideal. So defensively, we look a little vulnerable already, especially with defenders like Rudiger in there, who obviously isn't the top defender in our team. I'd say Zuma's probably our best. Kante is supposedly fit, so hopefully he will have a good game and we'll see him performing well. Kovacic had a good season overall, so hopefully he gives another, you know, possibly our player of the season. So Kovacic, hopefully another performance like that to help us maybe get something out of this game. Ruben, of course, so many injuries and just trying to get back into the team, but just never really found that form that he had pre-injury, so this could be a nice little game for him to just try and make an impact, you know, have an impact on the game, and you never know what could happen. Mason Mount, very crucial to our team. I do think using him at left wing isn't ideal, but he can initiate the press from there, so hopefully, you know, the system could work well. Mount further forward is always good because he has to progress from his centre mid role anyway forward to start the press, so maybe not the worst thing. Of course, he's a goal threat, set piece threat. He can score a nice free kick, as we've seen recently against Wolves, I'm pretty sure it was. So yeah, Mason Mount a threat. Hudson-Odoi looked really good when he came on against Liverpool in that game. But other than that, you know, he's not really been a starter, so this is going to be a big game for him. Going to have to come all cylinders firing for this game and hopefully be able to get a goal and an assist or something like that. Olivier Giroud, of course, the man in form, doing bits for us since the restart, so hopefully Giroud can bag a hat-trick and take us to extra time or something like that. I'd be fine with that. So overall, what do I think of this team? I think it's, like I said, this is going to be an uphill battle, no matter how you put it. This is going to be a very difficult game. It's possible we see us go through, but it's going to be an absolute miracle scenario. I'm not going to give a score prediction for this one because this game is so hard to judge. I could say Chelsea 4-0 and we have an insane performance, you know, 1 in a million performance that sends us through. I could also say Bayern are going to turn us over 3-0 again or something like that, and that's equally, well, not equally, that's far more likely than us winning 4-0, but I'm going to have belief in the boys. I'm going to be cheering them on, watching the game. I'm really hoping that they turn it around, at least have a good performance. I'll be really disappointed if, you know, by the end of this game, I'm sat there like nobody even bothered trying. We were just letting goals ship in for fun by the end of it. Like, no, I want to see them playing like this is a cup final, giving everything they've got down to the last breath. And if a result comes out of it, that's good. If not, we've seen a strong performance from the boys. So hopefully we get the win. Let me know what you guys think the score prediction is going to be, or your lineup, or whatever you'd change from my one. I'm intrigued to see what everyone's thinking for a score prediction on this one. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.